Loving Kindness in Plain English, Chapter 12, Communities of Metta. As human beings, we are naturally social creatures, and we need others to live. When we are children, we depend on our families to survive, and when we are elderly, perhaps our loved ones give us a reason to get up every day. We are naturally driven to be in relationship with others. Sometimes, though, this means we look differently at those who are not part of our community and think that they do not deserve our kindness. Metta practice gives us the opportunity to turn around that inclination, so we feel warm-hearted towards all beings, not just those we personally know and care for. The Buddha told his first 60 disciples, quote, "Go forth for the welfare of the multitudes, for the happiness of the multitudes, out of sympathy for the world, for the benefit, welfare, and happiness of gods and humans. Two should not go on one path. Teach the Dharma that is beneficial in the beginning, beneficial in the middle, and beneficial in the end." End quote. This is such a powerful demonstration of the Buddha's immense love for all beings. The Buddha advised his disciples to express their loving friendliness to people who give them support by teaching Dharma, teaching meditation, and providing guidance. This way, metta is magnified exponentially within communities, as more and more people are able to learn to calm their minds and develop new strategies for relating to others with loving friendliness. Even in his last days, the Buddha expressed his loving friendliness for all beings by asking his disciples to practice what he taught. In the Long Discourses, Digha Nikaya, the Buddha says, beginning of long quote, "Monks, you should carefully assume those practices, which I have taught you for the sake of direct knowledge. You should practice them, cultivate them, and make much of them, so that this religious practice will last for a long time, will be standing. This is for the welfare of the multitudes, the happiness of the multitudes, the benefit, welfare, and happiness of gods and humans. This is out of sympathy with the world." End of long quote. So you see, we practice mindfulness meditation and metta for all beings. This includes humans, non-humans, animals, gods, demons, ghosts, spirits, bipeds, quadrupeds, beings with hundreds of feet, thousands of feet, no feet, birds, and all beings in the water and air. We are part of a vast community with all beings, and the loving friendliness we cultivate should extend to them as well. In my own life, as a member of ordained communities, I have found that the entire monastic life depends on metta. The monastery is like a training ground for us to develop qualities like love and patience, and the community only functions well when each member practices metta. We are taught to be able to forgive any offense anybody commits against us. Loving friendliness can help us to avoid conflicts, especially due to misfortune and misunderstanding. It teaches us to be conciliatory and not proud or hostile. When one party feels hurt, friendliness can help establish peace and harmony. Monks and nuns should behave with patience and loving friendliness in all physical, verbal, and mental actions, whether done in public or in private, towards our companions in monastic life. We should be very generous to share with our monastic community any knowledge and insight we have gained in our meditation practice. If a member of our community is lazy and does not participate in regular activities, we can advise him or her to do so without getting upset or angry. Our metta must be boundless, and our practice of patience must be boundless. I have seen the benefit of this practice in my life. I have never regretted practicing metta and being patient. I never get tired of practicing metta and patience. Even if you do not live among monks and nuns, as most of you do not, You will likely find that if you practice metta and patience with your companions, you will not regret it either. Instead, you may be surprised to see that your kindness no longer becomes limited to those you interact with on a daily basis. Your metta can become limitless, and you may start to notice that you feel a warm heart for those who may previously have been outside your circle of care. The boundary that once limited who you feel a sense of friendliness toward gradually gets worn away, and any ill will you once harbored begins to disappear. As we have seen, metta and mindfulness are often equated. Both have similar characteristics. As monks and nuns in mindfulness practice, we learn that we should cultivate clear comprehension while walking forward, going backward, looking away, wearing our robes, and carrying our alms bowl. Yet lay people can also train to live with such mindful awareness and clear comprehension in all their actions. We can develop our mindfulness while eating and drinking, while using the restroom, talking with others, observing silence, going to bed and rising in the morning, and while working and relaxing. Similarly, we should practice metta in all these activities. Anger, resentment, or disappointment can arise at any time over the course of the day. We risk perpetuating our confused way of relating to others if we do not also make loving friendliness a habit in all our encounters with others, even in the stories we tell ourselves about them. Metta and mindfulness need commitment. We know that we suffer. We know all beings suffer. We practice metta to reduce our suffering and that of others. Ill will only maintains and nourishes suffering, but we should know that the root of metta is within us. If metta does not arise naturally for us, we must make a deliberate commitment to promote its development. It can become a new habit for us when we put forth the right amount of effort. We make all kinds of resolutions on special days, on holidays, anniversaries, and so forth. So we should also determine to practice metta on the special days in our life. We can make a birthday resolution to practice metta. But you don't have to wait until your birthday comes to make this commitment. Even as you read these sentences, you can determine to make a mindful commitment to continue metta practice. This is mindfulness. This is mindful reflection. So often we think that metta practice is beyond the reach of ordinary human beings, or perhaps that we don't have the time or capacity to practice. It's easy to assume that one must have a special, divine quality to understand the benefit of metta practice. It can be difficult for many of us to understand it, let alone practice it. Yet, if you continue practicing metta, you will see the benefit in your own life. One who sincerely seeks inner peace and happiness sees the power of loving friendliness. This divine quality is deeply rooted in the human mind. When you look around at your community, you may feel some disappointment, worry, or apprehension at the state of affairs. You see so much suffering, neighbors arguing, countries fighting, and children being neglected. Merely wishing for everyone to experience divine life on earth will not bring it about. However, we have the capacity to make this world heaven, beginning with how we interact in the world. This is called divinely living, to carry loving friendliness in our hearts rather than ill will. Just as we can make hell on earth, metta practice can make heaven on earth. In the numerical discourses, the Buddha said, beginning of long quote, "Here, Brahmin, when I am dwelling in dependence on a village or town, in the morning I dress, take my bowl and robe, and enter that village or town for alms. After the meal, when I have returned from the alms round, I enter a grove. I collect some grass or leaves that I find there into a pile, and then sit down. Having folded my legs crosswise and straightened my body, I establish mindfulness in front of me. Then I dwell pervading one quarter with a mind imbued with loving friendliness, likewise the second quarter, the third quarter, and the fourth quarter. Thus above, below, across, and everywhere, and to all as to myself, I dwell pervading the entire world with a mind imbued with loving friendliness, vast, exalted, measureless, without enmity, without ill will. I dwell pervading one quarter with a mind imbued with compassion, with a mind imbued with altruistic joy, with a mind imbued with equanimity, likewise with the second quarter, the third quarter, and the fourth quarter. Thus above, below, across, and everywhere, and to all as to myself, I dwell pervading the entire world with a mind imbued with equanimity, vast, exalted, measureless, without enmity, and without ill will. Then, Brahman, when I am in such a state, if I walk back and forth, on that occasion my walking back and forth is divine. If I am standing, on that occasion my standing is divine. If I am sitting, on that occasion my sitting is divine. If I lie down, on that occasion this is my divine, high, and luxurious bed. This is that divine, high, and luxurious bed that at present I can gain at will, without trouble or difficulty. End of long quote. Here the Buddha shows his gratitude to people in a village or town, just as the residents support him by giving him sustenance on alms rounds. He generates boundless love for them and stretches his compassion out to the whole world. As he practices loving friendliness for all beings in all quarters in the world, with mindfulness he lives in total peace. The Buddha understands the suffering in the world and practices metta for all suffering beings. He sees the suffering of all beings much better than any of us. Thus, he is always full of loving friendliness, compassion, appreciative joy, and equanimity. If we wish to see peace in the world, we must also develop these qualities. We must let goodwill saturate our minds, because peace begins with each of us. The power of loving friendliness, like the radiance of the sun, is beyond measure. End section.